my name's Charlie and welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing my November reading wrap-up. Sorry, I had to think for a second which month we're in. Yeah, I can't believe it, it's gone so fast this month, it's crazy. I read 12 books, but not really, because it was like 11 plus a short story, which I'll show you in a second. And also I DNF'd one. I actually DNF'd one. Can you believe it? Me DNFing a book. So even though I did do that a couple of times, to be fair, recently, I'm becoming better at DNFing. I'll get onto that in a second as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna dive right into it. I'll start with the book that I DNF'd, which was Why Don't Penguins' Feet Freeze? And the writing in here, I just didn't find it that interesting. The best thing about this book is, which I don't think you'll be able to see, there's like a little, you can't see, but there's like a little, there's images at the side, and you can flick it and make it look like, you know when you see like the speeded animations when you were a kid and you used to draw pictures and flick them. It's like that with like a penguin. I don't think I can get you to, I don't know if you'll see it. No, I can't do it. Either which way, that's the best thing about this book, because the writing in here is just, I don't find it that interesting, and I do love nature books, but, oh, it's not even nature books, but it's all different things, but I didn't really enjoy it, so I kind of just got sick of it and put it down. So there's a minute about me talking about rubbish, really, because that was just not a good book, and I'm not recommending it at all. And another book which I did find, it was like a tiny little short story, called My Purple Scented Novel by McEwan, and I just found it a bit boring. I found it a bit bland. It didn't really float my boat. So I know that McEwan's quite famous writer, and I haven't read anything else from him, and I've got Atonement upstairs, which I definitely want to read. But yeah, this was just a meh read, and it was only £2, so really it shouldn't be a problem. So maybe some of you will want to read it and to try it. But for me, it was just meh, so I don't really recommend it, and that is that one. I did read it though, because it was only a few pages. I think it was only like 30 pages. 34 pages, which was nothing really. But even then, honestly, I was just like, just didn't. A non-fiction November pick, which actually I didn't include in my pick because I picked it up on my haul, but I ended up reading it because it's non-fiction, was Weird Things Customers Say in Bookshops, and this was hilarious, and I really enjoyed this, and it was just a fun little snippety book with again a very short book, just telling stories that she's obviously had in the bookshops that she's worked at, that Jen's had in the bookshops that she's worked in. I know there's a few other ones, I think there's more weird things that there's another book that's kind of like the second one of this, which I definitely will try and pick up, but yeah, this was just fun. It was just a fun little read, and I really enjoyed it. So that was that one. I'm just going to go work down the pile. There's no particular order to these books. I was going to try and do my non-fiction November picks first, but what can you do? Next one I read and finished and loved was Death Note. This was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. It was so much fun. And it's really weird because obviously manga, you read it back to front kind of thing, and you read it back to front, and then you read it sort of like this way it's the opposite way. So it did take me a little time to sort of jump into it, because I hadn't read manga for a little while. I think I have read, like I said, a few years ago some manga, but it's been quite a long time. So this was brilliant. I've already picked up the second book when I went into my London book haul. So my husband got me this one for my birthday, and I picked the second edition up on my bookshop crawl, which I keep banging on about, but there you go. The next book on my pile, which isn't in consecutive order of what I read, is The Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. I read this as a buddy read with my lovely Bookwormies, and I really enjoyed it. It's not perfect, and it's not like I'm not like, it's not like the most perfect. So for me, it's kind of like a 4-star, but I really did enjoy it though. So it's not like, yeah. Either which way, this was good. I loved it. It wasn't my top book that I read this month, but it was definitely a contender for being really good. So, and I can't wait to read more Agatha Christie, because the writing style is excellent. I love how the sections are broken down, and the ending I was really surprised at, because I'm just rubbish at guessing. I'm just rubbish at guessing. I used to think I was really good at it, but yeah, I don't think I am. But because this kind of fits into the theme that I've been loving of the murder mystery kind of theme, and it's really definitely got me into reading it made me want to pick up more of the Sherlock and stuff like that. So yeah, this is really, really good. And more importantly, most importantly, I loved reading it with my bookworms. So I love you, bookwormies. You know who you are. I love you, love you, love my bookworms. Always got to love my bookworms. Right, the next book I read, which I already spoke about in my favourites, is Queer There and Everywhere. It's a collection of stories, but telling you, kind of like, it's one of those ones where you find out facts about famous figures. So, and this is about LGBTQ figures, so it's a super, super important book, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I found out stuff about people that I didn't know, and I just really, really, really loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. Can't speak enough about it. And yeah, I think there should be more books like this, and maybe there are. I know there's lots of other ones representing like women and men, but I haven't really seen that many representing the LGBTQ like people, so which you definitely need representation like that. So I loved it, either which way. And also, like I said, it was like so many people that I hadn't ever. Some of them I didn't realise were like gay, and then some of them like their stories. Brilliant! Just such a good book. The next book I'm going to show you is A Quiet Girl in a Noisy Night, an Introvert story by Debbie Tung. And I really, really loved this. It's just a graphic novel. The pictures are just drawn lovely, beautifully. And it's just really a simple, but it's a very simple story. That if you're an introvert, it definitely makes you feel less, it makes you feel more normal, if you know what I mean. Because sometimes I think, because I wouldn't think I would class myself as an introvert. I think I'm more of like what the people sometimes, I think people say an ambivert, which I don't think actually is a thing, but I don't think I'm truly extroverted, but then I don't 100% identify with being introverted. Either which way, there are elements in this I did identify with, and I could 100% see, and it was just lovely, it was just beautifully written. And she's got a new book coming out, this author's got a new book coming out next year about being like a book lover's one, which I'll put whatever the new book it is across the screen. I think it comes out in February, I believe, or like I said, I'll put it across the screen. And I just really enjoyed it. It just really escapism read, and it was just lovely. So very, very sweet. Very good. I've got 3 poetry collections, which I will just breeze through and just tell you the names of them, because I've already talked about these in my poetry collection video, which I will link down below. Bone by Yrsa Daley Ward, brilliant, beautiful contemporary poet, and I just adore Yrsa's writing. She's just really, really wonderful, and yeah, 100% recommend. So, Danez Smith, Don't Call Us Dead, another one that I spoke about in the last video, so I'm not going to talk about here. He's just beautiful, beautiful poet, and I really, really enjoyed it. And then Poems to Live Your Life by Chris. Chosen and illustrated by Chris Riddell. And the one thing I forgot to mention in my poetry video was the one that was in here by Carol Ann Duffy, and it's got like a Doctor Who reference in it, which that's what I was going to tell you guys about, because as soon as I read that I was like, oh my gosh, it's got Doctor Who. It makes me love her, because I love Carol Ann Duffy anyway, like I said already, and it just made me love her even more, the fact that she did a Doctor Who reference in her poem. It was just like, because I love Doctor Who, in case you guys don't know. A massive Whovian, and oh my gosh, the fact that, so that just made me smile, so I wanted to tell you guys about that. Where we go now? We're going to go with The Diary of a Bookseller by Shaun Bythell, and this was really good. I really enjoyed it. He sort of like comes across a little bit grumpy, which I understand, because given like all the stupid things people ask him and whatever, it's very humorous. But yeah, he definitely. I think, I don't know whether I would want to work with him, being honest, because he just comes across just as a grumpy old man. But like I said, he was funny, and I do think it was a really, really good book, so really enjoyable. And I just flew through this, so, because it's only just like, it's like written in diary entries. It's obviously Diary of a Bookseller, so yeah, it was good. I recommend it. It was like, yeah, good, just good. It was good. This was on my non-fiction November pick, which I actually read, and this was Raising Girls by Steve Biddulph. There's bits of this that I thought chimed with me, and I felt like worked with me, and I agreed with, and there's some of it I kind of felt didn't. So it's a bit of a mixed bag in here, being honest. Obviously my daughter's a lot older, so maybe that is partly why, but I'm not 100% sure, so I don't 100% recommend this. But you might like it. So if you've got a daughter, you might like it. But for me, I think I've read better parenting books out there, personally. This is one I just adored. This was a beautiful book. It was called The Atlas of Beauty, and this is 500 photographs that Mihaela Noroc took when she was journeying around the world, and it's just gorgeous. She took pictures of 500 different women, all of whom are just beautiful, and they've all got different stories, and some of them you hear more about than others. But yeah, it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous book, and I 100%, oh my gosh, I recommend this book so much. If you can get hold of this, it is 100% worth it, and it was just a beautiful thing to read, and I feel like I'm so lucky, so happy to own this, because it's one of the ones that you can constantly sort of reflect back to. So yeah, that is that. The last one I'm going to talk to you about isn't like an easy one to talk about, so right, it's called Not That Bad by Roxane Gay, and this is Dispatches from Rape Culture. So it's just, I have written notes about this. I'm going to try and get my notes on this. So this book, it's an essay collection written by, how many people is it? I can't remember how many people, but it's written by different people that have obviously, and different people's perspectives on the rape culture, and this comes with a load of trigger warnings. So just to let you, obviously, and it was a very difficult book to read, and it's not something that I gulped through. It's something that I took my time over. I read each story and then I put it down, and I deliberately did it like that, just because I felt like each story needed to be absorbed like that. And yeah, it was just very, very powerful, very emotional, very hard hitting. I've written other things. And yeah, it sort of, yeah, it definitely opened my eyes to things. It also mentions the refugee crisis and kind of people, kind of how vulnerable they are, and obviously how susceptible they are to this. So yeah, it's just, it was really, yeah, I definitely think that it's one that is important to read, and I do recommend it for that reason. Obviously, if you know yourself that if what you've, I wouldn't look up the reviews about this, because I don't want to like say read it if you've been through things and you don't, and it might not be for you. But it was it was just so powerful, and it was just, yeah, it was just really, really, it was a good book. It was hard and emotional and raw, and yeah, but definitely one I think that is worthwhile reading. So yeah, so that is that one. That is the one I'm going to finish on. Whew, I got through those. Whew, right. So that is my November reading wrap up. Let me know what your favourite books of the month that you've read are in the comments down below. And then, like I said, in future videos, it's all going to be lots of more Christmassy content, lots more happy content, hopefully. And yeah, so sending anyone lots of love in case you need it. I'm sending you all hugs and stuff. And yeah, speak to you later. Bye!